In a world that's constantly pulling us in 1,000 directions, endless notifications, relentless ambition, and the pressure to achieve more, it's easy to feel like life is slipping through our fingers, devoid of real depth or purpose. But what if the key to unlocking a profoundly meaningful existence isn't found in modern hacks or self-help trends, but in the timeless wisdom of ancient philosophers? Stoicism, the philosophy that guided emperors and slaves alike through the chaos of life, offers us habits that aren't just about surviving, but thriving with intention and fulfillment. Imagine waking up each day not chasing fleeting pleasures or external validations, but grounded in practices that align your actions with your deepest values. This isn't some abstract theory. It's a practical blueprint for living. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled amid wars and plagues, reminded us in his meditations, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Similarly, Seneca, the Stoic sage who navigated political intrigue and personal loss, urged us to focus on what truly matters. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. These two giants of Stoicism didn't just philosophize, they lived these principles, turning ordinary routines into sources of profound meaning. Today, we're diving into 7 ancient habits drawn from their teachings and the broader Stoic tradition. These aren't quick fixes. They're transformative practices that, when adopted, can make your life feel richly purposeful. Even in the midst of modern turmoil, whether you're battling stress at work, seeking deeper relationships, or simply yearning for more than the daily grind, these habits will guide you toward a life of quiet strength and lasting satisfaction. First, we'll explore practicing gratitude, not as a feel-good exercise, but as a Stoic discipline that shifts your focus from what's lacking to the abundance already present. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on his gratitude for simple things, like the guidance of mentors and the beauty of nature, which fortified his resilience. Second, serving others. Stoicism teaches that true fulfillment comes from contributing beyond ourselves. Seneca emphasized that no one can live happily who has regard to himself alone, and transforms everything into a question of his own utility. You must live for your neighbor, if you would live for yourself. Third, reading philosophy. Immersing yourself in the words of the wise isn't escapism, it's armor for the soul. Both Marcus and Seneca devoted time to studying and writing, using philosophy as a mirror to examine and improve their lives. Fourth, simplifying life. In a consumer-driven world, the Stoics advocated for voluntary discomfort and minimalism. Marcus wrote, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears," extending this to shedding unnecessary possessions and distractions. Fifth, facing fears. Rather than avoiding discomfort, Stoics like Seneca practiced premeditatio malorum, premeditating on evils to build courage. He said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," encouraging us to confront fears head-on. Sixth, living by values. Stoicism is about integrity, aligning actions with virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Marcus constantly reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." And seventh, contemplating death. This might sound morbid, but for the Stoics, memento mori, remember you must die, was a liberating habit. Seneca noted, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." By the end of this video, you'll not only understand these habits, but feel inspired to integrate them into your routine. Remember, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring hardship passively. It's about choosing how we respond to life's inevitable challenges, cultivating inner peace, and creating a legacy of meaning. As we journey through each habit, I'll share practical steps, real-world examples, and insights from Marcus and Seneca to make this ancient wisdom actionable today. Let's start with why these habits matter now more than ever. In our fast-paced society, where anxiety and burnout are epidemic, Stoicism offers an antidote. Studies from positive psychology echo what the Stoics knew. Habits like gratitude and value-driven living boost well-being and resilience, but the real power lies in their depth. They connect us to something eternal, reminding us that meaning isn't found in accumulation, but in mindful living. Think about it. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power, found meaning in daily reflections and service to the empire. Seneca, exiled and facing death, wrote letters that still inspire millions. Their lives weren't easy, but they were meaningful because they embraced these habits. You can do the same, no matter your circumstances. A busy parent, a striving professional, or someone in transition, these practices are accessible and profound. As we delve deeper, keep in mind that adopting even one habit can spark change, but together they form a holistic path to a life that feels deeply meaningful. So, grab a notebook, reflect as we go, and let's reclaim the wisdom of the ancients for our modern world. Now that we've set the stage with an overview of these timeless Stoic habits, let's dive into the first one, practicing gratitude. This isn't the superficial thank you we toss around in daily pleasantries or the trendy journaling apps that promise instant happiness. In the Stoic tradition, gratitude is a deliberate, daily discipline, a way of reframing your perspective to appreciate what's truly valuable. Cutting through the noise of desires and complaints, it's about recognizing that life's meaning emerges not from what we acquire, but from how we value what we already have. Marcus Aurelius, who faced the burdens of empire, including betrayals, illnesses, and the loss of loved ones, made gratitude a cornerstone of his philosophy. In his meditations, he begins many entries by listing things he's thankful for: the education from his teachers, the loyalty of friends, even the simple fact of waking up to another day. He writes, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This wasn't mere positivity, it was a shield against the entropy of life. By focusing on gratitude, Marcus fortified his mind against resentment and entitlement, allowing him to lead with clarity and purpose. Seneca echoes this in his letters, emphasizing that gratitude transforms scarcity into sufficiency. He observed how people chase endless wealth or status only to remain dissatisfied. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. He wrote, for Seneca, practicing gratitude meant acknowledging the gifts of nature, relationships, and personal growth, which are often overlooked in the pursuit of more. He advised reflecting on losses not as tragedies, but as reminders of what we've been granted temporarily. This habit, he believed, fosters contentment and resilience, making life feel deeply meaningful because it roots us in the present rather than an illusory future. Why does this ancient habit hold such power today? In our era of social media, comparisons and consumer overload, ingratitude breeds anxiety and emptiness. Psychological research supports the Stoics. Studies from institutions like Harvard show that regular gratitude practice reduces stress, improves sleep, and enhances overall well-being by rewiring neural pathways toward positivity. But Stoicism takes it deeper. It's not just about feeling better, it's about living virtuously. Gratitude aligns us with the Stoic virtue of wisdom, helping us discern what's under our control, our attitudes from what's not external events. So, how do you integrate this habit into your modern life? Start small, but consistently. Begin each day with a Stoic morning reflection, inspired by Marcus. Sit quietly for 5 minutes and mentally list 3 things you're grateful for, not vague generalities like health, but specifics: the warmth of your coffee, a supportive conversation from yesterday, or the strength in your body to move through the day. Make it personal and vivid to anchor it in reality. In the evening, adopt Seneca's approach. Review your day, not for what went wrong, but for the hidden blessings. Keep a simple journal where you note what you've received, perhaps a kind word from a colleague, the beauty of a sunset during your commute, or the opportunity to learn from a mistake. Seneca warned against letting days blur into routine. Life is long if you know how to use it. This evening ritual ensures you don't waste time in regret, but build a narrative of abundance. To make it more stoic, incorporate negative visualization, a twist on gratitude where you imagine losing what you value. Picture a day without your loved ones or your job. This heightens appreciation and prepares you for impermanence. Marcus used this to stay grounded amid power's temptations, reminding himself that all is transient. Real-world examples abound. Consider Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps. Drawing on Stoic-like principles, he found meaning through gratitude for small mercies like a scrap of bread or a moment of human connection amid unimaginable horror. His book, Man's Search for Meaning, illustrates how this habit sustained him, turning suffering into a testament of human spirit. Closer to home, think of a busy parent juggling work and family. By practicing gratitude for their child's laughter, instead of fixating on exhaustion, they infuse ordinary moments with profound joy. Challenges will arise days when gratitude feels forced, amid setbacks like job loss or heartbreak. That's when Stoicism shines. Persist, Seneca advised. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. View ingratitude as a vice to conquer, and over time, this habit will deepen your life's meaning, fostering connections, reducing envy, and revealing the richness in simplicity. As you experiment with this, notice the ripple effects. Stronger relationships as you express thanks to others, greater resilience in adversity, and a quiet sense of fulfillment that no external achievement can match. Practicing gratitude isn't passive. It's an active choice to see the world as the Stoics did, full of opportunities for virtue and growth. In embracing this first habit, you're laying the foundation for the others. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to sufficiency, preparing you for serving others, which we'll explore next. Remember, as Marcus put it, true wealth is in the soul's contentment. Start today and watch how gratitude transforms your life from mere existence to one brimming with depth and purpose, building on the foundation of gratitude, which attunes us to the abundance in our lives. Let's turn to the second ancient habit, serving others. This isn't about grand gestures of charity or seeking applause for good deeds. In Stoicism, serving others is a profound act of self-realization, a way to transcend the ego and connect with the greater human fabric. It's the recognition that our individual well-being is intertwined with the community, turning everyday interactions into opportunities for virtue and meaning. By giving of ourselves through time, empathy, or effort, we cultivate a life that's not just successful, but significant. Marcus Aurelius, as emperor, could have lived in isolation, focused solely on personal power. Yet, he viewed service as his duty. writing, in meditations. What is your art? To be good. And how is this accomplished well, except by general principles, some about the nature of the universe, and others about the proper constitution of man? For Marcus, serving others meant leading with justice and compassion, whether in governing the empire or mentoring those around him. He saw humanity as a single body, where helping one part strengthens the whole. This habit kept him grounded, reminding him that true power lies in uplifting others, not dominating them. Seneca, too, championed service as essential to a meaningful life. In his essay on the happy life, he states, "No one can live happily who has regard to himself alone and transforms everything into a question of his own utility. You must live for your neighbor, if you would live for yourself." Seneca practiced this through his writings, advising friends and strangers alike on navigating life's trials. Even in exile, he served by sharing wisdom that outlasted his lifetime. For him, service wasn't obligatory drudgery, but a joyful extension of our rational nature. Humans are social beings, designed to cooperate. Ignoring this leads to isolation and emptiness. Embracing it brings fulfillment and resilience. In today's self-centered culture, where individualism often trumps community, this habit is a radical counterforce. We chase personal goals, careers, fitness, wealth, yet wonder why satisfaction eludes us. Modern psychology aligns with the Stoics. Research from the University of California shows that altruistic acts release endorphins, reduce depression, and foster a sense of purpose by activating brain regions linked to reward and empathy. But Stoicism elevates service beyond feel-good biology. It's tied to the virtue of justice, ensuring our actions contribute to the common good. When we serve, we affirm our place in the cosmos, as Marcus described, part of a rational, interconnected whole. How, then, do we make serving others a daily habit? Begin with intention. Set a morning reminder, inspired by Marcus, to ask, "How can I be of use today?" It could be as simple as listening attentively to a colleague's concerns, helping a neighbor with errands, or volunteering time at a local shelter. Seneca advised, starting small to build momentum. The best way to pay for a lovely moment is to enjoy it, but extend that to creating lovely moments for others. Incorporate service into routines. During commutes or breaks, practice random acts of kindness, compliment a stranger, share knowledge online, or donate unused items. To deepen it, stoically, reflect on motivations. Are you serving for praise? Or, genuinely? Marcus warned against hypocrisy. Do the right thing, and let that be enough. Evening reviews, like Seneca's, can include, who did I help today? How did it align with my values? This turns service into a reflective practice, amplifying its impact. Consider real-life exemplars. Mother Teresa, though not a Stoic, embodied this habit by serving the poorest in Calcutta, finding meaning in anonymity. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. In a business context, think of a CEO like Patagonia founder Yvonne Chouinard, who serves environmental causes by donating profits, echoing Seneca's belief that true wealth is shared, or everyday heroes. A teacher staying late to tutor struggling students, deriving purpose from their growth. Obstacles will test you fatigue, rejection, or ingratitude from those you serve. Here, Stoicism equips us. View these as training. Seneca said, fire tests gold. Misfortune, brave men. Persist. Knowing service builds character and meaning. even if unseen. Over time, it fosters deeper relationships, a sense of legacy, and inner peace. As you're living in harmony with nature's design, as this habit takes root, you'll notice life feels richer, not from what you gain, but from what you give. It complements gratitude by extending appreciation outward, preparing us for the next habit, reading philosophy, which sharpens the mind for wiser service. Embrace serving others. As Marcus urged, be the good you wish to see. In doing so, you'll discover a depth of meaning that self-focus alone can never provide. With the habits of gratitude and serving others nurturing our inner and outer worlds, we arrive at the third ancient practice, reading philosophy. This isn't about accumulating knowledge for its own sake or escaping into intellectual ivory towers. In Stoicism, reading philosophy is an active engagement with wisdom that sharpens the mind, refines the character, and infuses daily life with clarity and purpose. It's like consulting a trusted mentor who challenges your assumptions, exposes blind spots, and guides you toward virtuous living. By immersing ourselves in the thoughts of the wise, we transform abstract ideas into lived reality, making every decision a step toward deeper meaning. Marcus Aurelius embodied this habit profoundly. His meditations weren't written for publication, but as personal notes, a diary of philosophical reflections drawn from Epictetus, Heraclitus, and others. He read to remind himself of core truths amid the demands of rulership. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus treated philosophy as a daily tonic, using readings to combat ego, fear, and distraction. It wasn't passive consumption. He internalized ideas, applying them to real challenges like military campaigns or court intrigues, turning philosophy into a tool for resilience and ethical leadership. Seneca, a prolific reader and writer, saw philosophy as the ultimate path to freedom. In his letters to Lucilius, he urges, "Hang on to this, like a nail driven into your skull. We must do what we say we'll do." Seneca devoured works from various schools, not just Stoicism, to broaden his perspective. He believed reading philosophy counters life's illusions, wealth, fame, pleasure, by revealing their emptiness. For him, it was a communal act. Sharing insights through letters served others while reinforcing his own growth, even facing execution. Seneca's philosophical grounding allowed him to meet death with composure, proving that wisdom read and lived yields unbreakable inner strength. In our information-saturated age, where superficial content dominates endless scrolls, podcasts, and headlines, this habit stands as a beacon of depth. We drown in data, but starve for wisdom, leading to confusion and aimlessness. Cognitive science backs the Stoics. Regular engagement with complex texts enhances critical thinking, empathy, and emotional regulation. As per studies from Yale's philosophy department, yet Stoicism demands more, reading as praxis. Aligning with virtues like wisdom and temperance, it connects us to humanity's timeless struggles, reminding us we're not alone in seeking meaning. To adopt this habit practically, start with consistency over volume. Dedicate 15-30 minutes daily, perhaps mornings like Marcus, to read a passage from Stoic texts, meditations, Seneca's letters, or Epictetus's Enchiridion. Read slowly, actively, underline key ideas, question them, and journal responses. Seneca advised, don't just read digest. Ask, how does this apply to my life? If facing anger, reflect on Seneca's On Anger, for loss, Marcus on impermanence, build a routine, curate a small library of accessible editions, or use apps for daily quotes as entry points. Join online Stoic communities for discussions, turning solitary reading into shared exploration. To deepen, practice what you read immediately after a chapter on patience. Apply it in traffic or conversations. Evening reflections can include: what insight did I gain today? How did it change my actions? Inspirational examples illuminate its power. Benjamin Franklin, influenced by Stoicism. Read philosophy voraciously, crediting it for his inventions and diplomacy. From the writings of the ancients, I learned to moderate my expectations. In modern times, consider Tim Ferriss, who attributes his success to Stoic readings, using them to navigate entrepreneurship's uncertainties, or a nurse during the pandemic, drawing from Marcus to endure long shifts, finding meaning in service amid chaos. Doubts may emerge, time constraints, thence language, or irrelevance. Counter with Stoic resolve. Start simple, persist. Seneca noted, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Over time, this habit fosters intellectual humility, better decision-making, and a profound sense of continuity with the past, enriching life's tapestry. As reading philosophy yones your discernment, it naturally leads to simplifying life. Our next habit, shedding the superfluous to focus on essentials. Embrace this practice, as Marcus did. Let wisdom be your compass. In doing so, you'll uncover layers of meaning that mere existence overlooks, crafting a life of thoughtful depth and enduring purpose. Having sharpened our minds through reading philosophy, which equips us to question the clutter of existence, we now embrace the fourth ancient habit, simplifying life. This isn't about austere minimalism for its own sake or rejecting modern comforts outright. In Stoicism, simplification is a deliberate choice to strip away the unnecessary, focusing on what truly aligns with virtue and purpose. It's the art of discerning essentials from distractions, creating space for inner freedom and profound meaning. By shedding excess, be it possessions, commitments, or mental baggage, we reclaim control over our lives, turning chaos into clarity and superficial busyness into intentional depth. Marcus Aurelius, burdened by the opulence of imperial life, practiced simplification as a path to tranquility. Surrounded by luxury, he reminded himself, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. In meditations, he advocates rejecting sensory overload, urging us to confine yourself to the present and avoid entanglements that dilute focus. Marcus lived this by embracing voluntary discomfort, simple meals, basic attire, and reflection over indulgence, ensuring his decisions stemmed from reason, not desire. This habit fortified him against the empire's demands, allowing him to lead with wisdom rather than be enslaved by abundance. Seneca, who amassed wealth as a statesman, yet criticized its traps, saw simplification as liberation from fortune's whims. In his letters, he writes, "It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the one who hankers after more." He practiced what he preached, advocating for periodic poverty simulations, eating plain food, sleeping on hard beds to build resilience. For Seneca, excess breeds anxiety. Simplification fosters self-sufficiency, aligning with nature's design. He warned that possessions possess us, diverting energy from meaningful pursuits like relationships and self-improvement. By simplifying, we honor the Stoic virtue of temperance, finding richness in restraint, In our consumerist society, where accumulation is equated with success, endless gadgets, overflowing schedules, digital noise, this habit is a revolutionary act. We hoard not just things, but obligations, leading to burnout and a diluted sense of purpose. Behavioral studies from Stanford University affirm the Stoics. Minimalisme reduces décision fatigue, boosts creativity, and enhances well-being by minimizing cognitive load. But Stoicism delves deeper. Simplification isn't mere decluttering, it's philosophical hygiene, purging what hinders virtue. It reconnects us to the cosmos, as Marcus viewed it: simple, orderly, eternal, reminding us that true meaning arises from inner resources, not external trappings. To weave this habit into your routine, begin with mindful assessment. Inspired by Marcus, conduct a weekly essentials audit. List your possessions, commitments, and habits, asking, does this serve my values or distract from them? Start physically declutter a drawer or room, donating items unused in months. Seneca's voluntary discomfort can follow. 1 day a week, forego luxuries like hot showers or elaborate meals, reflecting on how little you need for contentment. This builds gratitude for basics and resilience against loss. Extend to mental and digital realms. Simplify your schedule by saying no to non-essential tasks, creating white space for reflection. Limit screen time, curating feeds to philosophical content only. Practice Stoic frugality in spending before purchases. Ponder Seneca's query: is this necessary for a good life? Journal evenings. What did I release today? How did it free me? Over time, these steps cultivate detachment, turning simplification into a joyful discipline. Historical and contemporary examples inspire. Epictetus, a former slave and Stoic teacher, owned nothing but his reason, declaring, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." His simple life amplified his influence. Today, consider Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus of the Minimalists, who ditched corporate excess for purposeful living, echoing Seneca by finding freedom in less. Or a single parent, streamlining routines, fewer activities, more quality time, discovering deeper family bonds amid simplicity. Resistance may surface: fear of missing out, societal pressure, or attachment to comforts. Stoicism counters. View these as tests of character. Marcus advised, adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast. Persist, and simplification will yield clarity, reduced stress, and amplified, meaning life becomes a canvas for virtues, not a storage for stuff. As this habit clears the path, it prepares us for facing fears. Our next practice, confronting what we've simplified away from avoiding. Embrace simplification. As Seneca urged, live as if nature intended, with nothing superfluous. In doing so, you'll uncover a life of elegant depth, where meaning flows from essence, not excess. With the clarity gained from simplifying life, which removes barriers to self-awareness, we're ready to confront the fifth ancient habit, facing fears. This isn't about reckless bravado or denying emotions. In Stoicism, facing fears is a disciplined practice of examining and dismantling what holds us back, transforming anxiety into courage and paralysis into purposeful action. It's the deliberate encounter with discomfort that builds unbreakable resilience, allowing us to live fully rather than in the shadows of imagined threats. By staring down our fears, we reclaim agency, infusing life with the depth that comes from authentic growth and unyielding virtue. Marcus Aurelius, who led armies into battle and faced personal demons like chronic illness, made facing fears a daily ritual. In Meditations, he writes, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Marcus practiced premeditatio malorum, premeditating on potential evils to prepare for adversity without being overwhelmed. He visualized losses, betrayals, and failures not to dwell in negativity, but to strip them of surprise and power. This habit enabled him to rule justly amid uncertainty, turning fear into a teacher that honed his wisdom and tempered his soul. Seneca, no stranger to peril from political exile to forced suicide, viewed fear as the greatest thief of life. He famously declared, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." In his letters, Seneca advocated exposing oneself to fears gradually, like a gladiator training for the arena. He recommended voluntary exposure, endure cold, hunger, or criticism to realize most dreads are illusions. For Seneca, this habit aligns with the virtue of courage, freeing us from fortune's grip. By facing fears, we live deliberately, not reactively, discovering meaning in the mastery of our responses rather than the avoidance of challenges. In our modern world, rife with uncertainties, economic instability, health crises, social judgments, fear often paralyzes, leading to regret and unfulfilled potential. Neuroscience corroborates the Stoics' exposure therapy, rooted in these principles, rewires the amygdala, reducing fear responses over time, as shown in studies from the National Institute of Mental Health. Yet, Stoicism offers more than therapy. It's a philosophical forge, where facing fears forges character. It reminds us that fears are opinions, not facts, connecting us to the rational order of the universe, where virtue triumphs over fate. To embed this habit, start with awareness. Identify your fears through journaling, asking Marcus-style questions like, "What am I avoiding and why?" Common ones include failure, rejection, or change. Then, practice premeditation, daily mornings. Visualize worst-case scenarios for upcoming events, such as a tough conversation or project deadline. Seneca's advice: rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck. But don't stop at thought. Act. Gradual exposure. If public speaking terrifies, start with small talks. For financial fears, simulate budget cuts. Track progress in evenings. What fear did I face? How did it shrink? Make it routine. Set fear challenges weekly, like cold showers for physical discomfort or honest feedback requests for emotional vulnerability. Combine with Stoic reframing label fears as indifference, focusing on your response. Over time, this builds momentum, turning dread into data for growth. Examples from history and today motivate. Admiral James Stockdale, a POW in Vietnam, credited Epictetus's Stoicism, facing fears through mental preparation for surviving torture. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. In everyday life, consider an entrepreneur like Sarah Blakely, who faced rejection, repeatedly building Spanx, embracing failure as fuel, echoing Seneca's resilience, or a recovering addict confronting triggers, finding meaning in sobriety's hard-won battles. Hurdles abound. Initial overwhelm, avoidance, temptations, or setbacks. Stoicism respond, persevere, as exercise for the will. Marcus noted, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. With persistence, facing fears yields liberation, bolder decisions, richer experiences, and a profound sense of empowerment, where life's meaning emerges from conquered shadows." This habit, by building courage, paves the way for living by values. Our next practice, acting with integrity amid fears. Embrace facing fears. As Seneca imploreth, cease to fear and begin to live. In doing so, you'll forge a life of bold depth, where meaning is earned through the fire of confrontation. Armed with the courage from facing fears, which empowers us to act despite uncertainty, we step into the sixth ancient habit, living by values. This isn't about adhering to vague ideals or performative morality. In Stoicism, living by values means anchoring every thought, word, and deed to timeless virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, creating a life of unwavering integrity and profound purpose. It's the conscious alignment of actions with an inner compass, turning potential Ks into coherent meaning. By committing to values, we transcend fleeting impulses, building a legacy that endures beyond circumstances and discovering the depth that comes from being true to our highest self. Marcus Aurelius, navigating the moral complexities of power, made living by values his life's North Star. In Meditations, he implores, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Marcus didn't just espouse virtues, he embodied them, ruling with justice despite temptations of corruption, exercising temperance in personal habits, and drawing on wisdom to forgive betrayals. He viewed values as the soul's architecture, essential for withstanding life's storms. This habit sustained him through plagues and wars, ensuring his reign wasn't defined by conquests, but by principled leadership that echoed through history. Seneca, amidst the moral decay of Nero's court, championed values as the antidote to vice. He wrote On the Shortness of Life, "Philosophy calls for simple living, but not for penance. It's possible to be simple without being crude." For Seneca, values like justice meant fair dealings in all interactions, while courage involved speaking truth to power. He practiced this through self-examination, questioning daily if his actions matched his principles. Seneca believed that without values, life devolves into aimless pursuit. With them, it becomes a deliberate art, fostering inner peace and societal harmony. Even in his final moments, forced to suicide, his adherence to virtue transformed tragedy into a testament of dignity. In today's relativistic world, where expediency often trumps ethics, social media, echo chambers, cutthroat careers, ethical shortcuts, living by values is a bold reclamation of authenticity. We chase success metrics like likes or promotions, yet feel hollow without a moral foundation. Positive psychology research from the University of Pennsylvania supports the Stoics' value-aligned living correlates with higher life satisfaction, resilience, and reduced regret, as it provides a stable framework for decisions. But Stoicism elevates this to cosmic duty. Virtues are natural laws, as Marcus saw them, universal principles that connect us to the rational order of existence. Living by them isn't restrictive, it's liberating, channeling energy into what truly matters. To cultivate this habit, begin with clarity. Define your core values, drawing from Stoic virtues. Mornings, like Marcus, reflect. What principles will guide me today? Journal specifics, wisdom in seeking truth. justice in treating others fairly, courage in tough choices, temperance in moderation. Make it actionable. Set daily intentions, such as today. I act justly by listening without judgment. Seneca's evening review is key. Did my actions align with my values? Where did I falter? And how can I improve? This honest audit builds accountability, turning values from abstractions into habits. Integrate through challenges. When tempted by shortcuts, pause and ask, does this honor my virtues? Practice role-playing scenarios. Premeditating value conflicts like ethical dilemmas at work. Surround yourself with reminders, Stoic quotes on your phone, or accountability partners for discussions. Over time, this weaves values into your identity, making principled living second nature. Exemplars abound. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, lived by justice and courage, emerging not bitter but reconciliatory, echoing Marcus's forgiveness. In business, Paul Polman of Unilever prioritized sustainability over short-term profits, embodying temperance and wisdom for long-term impact. Every day, a teacher upholding integrity by admitting mistakes models values for students, finding meaning in their growth. Temptations will arise, peer pressure, fatigue, rationalizations. Stoicism arms you. View deviations as opportunities for correction. Seneca advised, errare humanum est, persevera diabolicum. To err is human, to persist is devilish. Persist in alignment, and you'll experience profound rewards. Authentic relationships, self-respect, and a sense of contribution that outlasts achievements. Life feels meaningful because it's directed by an unshakable core. This habit, by ensuring consistent virtue, sets the stage for contemplating death. Our final practice, reflecting on finitude to amplify values' urgency. Embrace living by values. As Marcus commanded, be the good. In doing so, you'll craft a life of resonant depth, where meaning is not sought but lived. Grounded in the integrity of living by values, which gives direction to our actions, we reach the seventh and final ancient habit, contemplating death. This may seem grim or morbid at first glance, especially in a culture that shuns the topic, chasing youth and distraction instead. But in Stoicism, memento mori, remember you must die, is a liberating practice, a stark reminder of life's finitude that sharpens focus, eliminates trivialities, and amplifies meaning. It's not about dwelling in despair, but using mortality as a catalyst to live urgently, virtuously, and fully, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary by prioritizing what truly endures. Marcus Aurelius, who stared down death in battles and through personal losses, including the untimely passing of children, wove this habit into his reflections. In Meditations, he writes, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Marcus didn't fear death. He used its inevitability to strip away illusions of permanence, urging himself to act with purpose each day. By contemplating his end, he avoided procrastination and pettiness, focusing on legacy through just governance and personal growth. This practice kept him humble amid power, reminding him that emperors and peasants alike return to dust, making every moment a chance to embody virtue. Seneca, who met his own death stoically under Nero's order, treated memento mori as a daily tonic for vitality. He proclaimed in On the Shortness of Life, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." Seneca advocated vivid visualizations, imagining your last breath, the finality of time to counteract wastefulness. He saw death not as an enemy but as nature's boundary, encouraging us to live as if each day were our last, free from regrets. This habit, for him, fostered gratitude for the present and urgency in pursuits, aligning with Stoic temperance by valuing quality over quantity in life's fleeting span. In our death-denying society, where we numb ourselves with endless entertainment and anti-aging obsessions, this habit is a profound wake-up call. We postpone dreams, harbor grudges, and chase ephemera, only to face end-of-life regrets. Thanatology studies, like those from palliative care experts at Stanford, echo the Stoics. Reflecting on mortality boosts life satisfaction, clarifie priority, and reduces anxiety by normalizing the inevitable, but Stoicism takes it further. Contemplation of death is tied to wisdom, revealing that while we can't control its timing, we command how we live until then. It connects us to the cosmic cycle: birth, growth, decay, urging harmony with nature's rhythm. To integrate this habit without overwhelm, start gently but consistently. Mornings. Follow Marcus. Pause and affirm. Today could be my last. What will I make of it? Visualize your deathbed perspective. What would you wish you'd done differently? Use this to guide choices. Mend a relationship, pursue a passion, or simply savor a meal. Seneca's evening ritual complements: review the day as if closing accounts, asking, did I live fully? What unfinished business lingers? Keep a memento mori token, a skull image on your desk or a journal quote, to prompt reflection without fixation. Deepen with exercises. Write your eulogy, outlining the impact you want to leave. Then align actions accordingly. Or practice death. Meditation: sit quietly, imagining life's end, feeling the peace in having lived virtuously. Combine with other habits. Face fears by seeing death as the ultimate unknown. Simplify by releasing attachments. Value service, knowing time is limited. Over time, this shifts from discomfort to empowerment, making life vibrant and intentional. Timeless examples inspire. Steve Jobs, influenced by Stoic-like thinking, said in his Stanford speech, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices." His mortality awareness fueled innovation and boldness. Historically, Montaigne, drawing from Seneca, contemplated death in essays, finding joy in life's brevity. Today, a hospice volunteer witnessing endings might embrace memento mori to cherish family time, turning potential sorrow into meaningful presence. Skepticism might arise. It's depressing, or why focus on the end? Stoicism reframe, ignoring death breeds complacency. Embracing it ignites vitality. Marcus assured, death smiles at us all. All we can do is smile back. Persist, and you'll gain perspective. Trivial worries fade. Relationships deepen, and purpose crystallizes. Life feels deeply meaningful because it's finite each day, a gift to be unwrapped with intention. As we conclude these habits, contemplating death seals them, urging immediate application. It reminds us, as Seneca did, life isn't short if lived well. Embrace memento mori, and watch your existence transform into one of urgent, resonant depth. We've journeyed through 7 ancient habits rooted in the profound wisdom of Stoicism, each one a thread weaving together a tapestry of deeply meaningful life. From practicing gratitude to shift our gaze toward abundance, serving others to connect us beyond the self, reading philosophy to arm our minds with timeless insights, simplifying life to clear the path for essentials, facing fears to forge unbreakable courage, living by values to anchor our actions in virtue, and contemplating death to ignite urgency. In every moment, these practices aren't relics of the past, but living tools for our present chaos. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca didn't offer these as lofty ideals. They lived them amid empires crumbling and personal trials, proving that meaning isn't bestowed by fate, but built through deliberate choice. Recall how Marcus, in the quiet of his tent on the battlefield, reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," and Seneca, from his studies or exile, insisted, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." Together, these habits form a holistic framework, a Stoic blueprint that counters modern afflictions like distraction, isolation, and existential drift. They remind us that life's depth emerges not from external accolades, but from internal mastery, controlling our perceptions, aligning with nature, and contributing to the greater good. In adopting them, we echo the Stoics' resilience, turning ordinary days into profound narratives of growth and fulfillment. But knowledge alone isn't transformation. Action is the bridge. Start small, as the Stoics did, perhaps with a morning gratitude reflection or an evening value review, but commit consistently. Integrate one habit at a time. Begin with gratitude to build momentum, then layer in service to extend it outward. Read philosophy daily to deepen understanding. Simplify your surroundings to create space. Face a small fear weekly to build courage. Align decisions with virtues, and contemplate mortality to prioritize ruthlessly. Track your progress in a journal, noting shifts. Do relationships feel richer? Does stress diminish? Is purpose clearer? Challenges will arise, doubt, setbacks, the pull of old patterns. But remember Seneca's words, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Persevere, and these habits will compound, reshaping your life from the inside out. Imagine the ripple effects. A professional finding calm amid deadlines through fear-facing and simplification. A parent instilling values in children via service and gratitude. Or an elder contemplating death to savor connections. These aren't hypotheticals. They're echoes of countless lives touched by Stoicism, from ancient Rome to today. Research in psychology reinforces this. Habits like these enhance well-being, as seen in studies linking gratitude to lower depression and value living to greater life satisfaction. Yet the Stoic edge lies in their philosophical depth. They connect us to something eternal, a rational universe where virtue is the ultimate good. In a world chasing novelty, these ancient practices offer enduring substance, proving that meaning is crafted, not consumed. As you reflect on this, consider your own life. What if, like Marcus, you treated each day as an opportunity to embody goodness, or, following Seneca, balanced your books nightly, ensuring no moment is wasted? The power is yours. No special circumstances required. Whether you're in the bustling streets of New York or the quiet suburbs of California, these habits are universal, adaptable, and profoundly effective. They don't promise ease but deliver something better: a resilient spirit, meaningful pursuits, and the quiet joy of a life well lived. So, I challenge you. Pick one habit today and act on it. Share in the comments below which one resonates most, and how will you apply it. Subscribe for more Stoic insights to fuel your journey, and hit the notification bell to stay inspired. Remember, As Marcus Aurelius concluded his reflections, do what is necessary, and whatever the reason of a social animal requires, and as it requires, let these 7 habits guide you toward a life that feels not just full, but deeply, irrevocably meaningful. You've got the wisdom, now live it.